Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Section 305. I'm Raul Pagan here with my good friends and co-workers of the Miami Heat, Anthony Aguirre, Matthew MacNamara, KolyaZabler, and Nick Dupont. How's it going, guys?
It's going pretty good. How you doing, Raul?
I'm doing
All
excellent.
good. Yes, sir. Right now,
Last week, I missed you guys. Missed you. Wait, we missed you too, man. Glad we can have you for this week's episode.
I'm repping my high school.
hey, there you go. Trying to make it to the Wall Hall of Fame.
I'm trying to make it in the school Hall of Fame.
Yeah. The UM. I mean, that's my second team because my brother works there. But it's all about the Gators, guys. I mean, you guys forgot who won. You guys forgot who won. Come on, man.
No, I have a Gator sweatshirt. Best believe I'm a bandwagon on there.
Yeah, most definitely. One of this next shows, if we have like a topic about Florida, which I don't think we're gonna be talking about the Gators like in a while because there's no headlines. But once we do, I'm definitely putting the long sleeve that I bought, championship. I mean, bro, it's been a long time. We didn't celebrate like a big championship from a Florida team because the Miami haven't been making it to the finals. The Panthers are the only team making us proud in South Florida, and then the rest is history. So I'm saying we're in the same state, so we support each other.
To an extent.
Exactly, but it would be nicer if the Hurricanes make noise next season, at least in college football, because in basketball right now.
Hey, man, Mario Cristobal's been pretty high on Carson Beck. Personally, I think Carson Beck is a little overhyped, but Mario Cristobal sees a lot of similarities in Carson Beck and similar comparisons to Cam Ward, honestly.
I mean, at the same time, like, he's not like a big explosive quarterback, but he's a good decision maker.
100%, and he's great down the field, throwing the ball down the field. And you know that he had a lot of interceptions this year due to his receiving. Georgia was number one in the league in drops this year, which was crazy to think about, considering that a few years ago they had some of the best wide receivers in the nation. And now that Carson Beck left, he's actually going to perform because UM has a couple of young guys that are going to be developed. They're going to be fighting, and they have an amazing offensive line. So I know a lot of people are counting out the Canes because of the lack of defense, and trust me, that defense is going to be rough.
It was horrible. It was horrible, man.
Listen, hey, progressively got worse, okay? But we know what to expect now, so I think the Canes are going to have a pretty decent
I mean, we couldn't even win that bowl game against Iowa State.
Come on, that doesn't mean anything.
I don't care if it's not, bro. They didn't make it to the ACC championship game, which they should have. They didn't make it to the playoffs because of two crucial games that they had to win. Two games, they could have been undefeated. At the same time, they could have made a lot of noise because they look like an Indiana Pacers offense because obviously the Pacers since last season, their defense was horrible, but their offense was scoring over 123 points per game. So a team to beat the Pacers, they needed to average that same amount or more. Basically, that was how the three teams that beat UM except one, two of them had to score like over 40 points to beat the Hurricanes.
Well, it was just terrible coaching on the defensive end, in my opinion. Because you left also freshman corners down on islands against senior wide receivers. If you go back to the Syracuse game, literally there was a drive in the fourth quarter where the quarterback, I'm pretty sure it was McCord. Is it Kyle McCord?
Yeah.
Kyle McCord was targeting this one corner on our team the entire drive, and that receiver caught every single ball and scored a touchdown for them. And that was when I realized, yeah, we need corners. Yeah, we need a defense because this offense can't just control the field.
That was the game that actually cost us the playoffs and the ACC championship game. And they came back. I remember we were working at the arena that night. I mean, we were entering when it was like in the last moments of the second half. But it was crazy how they lost that game. But yeah, next season, they're definitely going to start like, well, you already know the rankings of college football. They start like a top 25. I feel like they can be top 5, top 10 at the beginning. I hope that overhype or not overhype, that hype doesn't get them, you know what I'm saying, like distraction or, you know what I'm saying, gets them motivated and to start off the season. They just need to be balanced and that's it. Not be explosive offensively and then be horrible defensively. If they're balanced, they're definitely making noise. And Carson Beck is a 2-time national champion with a good defense of Georgia, so that's exactly like something that I can visualize with Mario Cristobal's team entering this season. But we'll see if that happens. The Gators right now, just to end this segment, they could be a top 25. I mean, the way they ended last season, like they went on a run. So they just got to keep that momentum going. But yeah, it's definitely anxious for August. I mean, I know everybody loves summer, but only high school kids. You know what I'm saying? And obviously, people are in college, but a lot of people take summer in college. But come on, man, the best season is when it's college football, NFL, NBA, the beginning of the NBA, the ending of the MLB, NHL, all that at the same time.
You got the WNBA.
Well, the WNBA, that's basically the topics for summer. WNBA, MLB games, but you already know that after the NBA season ends, we're gonna be talking about free agency, the draft class, the beginning of training camp at the NFL. So we're getting there. We're getting there.
Some potential trades too. You know.
Yes, most definitely. Come on, Pat Riley. Prove Anthony wrong. I got you. You the real GOAT, so let's do that. Anyways,
Pat Riley is sleeping on the phone and drooling on the floor.
and
Hey,
how's Butler doing?
60 million per year. He's doing great.
Yeah, for a guy that averaged 15 points per game in the series. I mean, I thought that was your goal. I mean, I thought without Stephen Curry, I thought without Stephen Curry, he should have proved that he was the GOAT game. What do you mean, who won more game? Because they got better talented players. The Warriors had more talented players.
Who won?
For what? For what, Anthony? For what? For what? For what? Is that the goal? Is that the goal? Is that the goal? Anthony, is the goal to win more games and no championship? Is that the goal? I mean, is that the goal to win more games and 0 championships? That's the goal? That's the main goal for Jimmy Butler?
Games won no championships.
I mean, Pat Riley's got 3.
Anthony, you already got a strike, Anthony. You get 2 more. Raul's taking off the screen.
Bro, 3 rings. 3 rings. And Jimmy Butler, how much he has? 2 finals appearance. I'm sorry, man, but that's not a GOAT type of conversation that you should be included. Anyways, let's go to our first topic. We already started mad at this first segment.
For Instagram now.
All right, we're starting out with the NBA because yesterday was game 1 of the Western Conference Finals between the Thunder and the Timberwolves, which the Thunder, after beating the Nuggets by 32 points, just like the Panthers did in game 7, they won 6-1. Now they picking off of what they left off the last series. The Thunder dominated the second half, both offense and defensively. And that's how they take game 1 and defend their home courts. Now, the real topic, what do the Wolves need to do to bounce back in game 2? So, Anthony, since you weren't here the last show, the floor is yours.
Shoot better. I mean, okay, so
wow,
they didn't really attack the rim like they usually did. I saw a stat from ESPN that Edwards' average shot distance was 26 feet from the rim, and he only had 1 shot at the rim. He only had 1 shot at the rim. It was when he tried dunking on Cason Wallace, and obviously Lou Dort. It was Lou Dort. Obviously, Dort fouled him on purpose to not get the easy bucket. That was the only time he actually attacked the rim. So they got to find ways to get in the paint and score from within. I understand that OKC runs a 2 big lineup. So it's hard, but you have the guys who can do it. You have Naz Reid, who's strong. Rudy Gobert, he's iffy, but he's got to be able to contribute offensively in some way at the rim, in some way. And obviously, Jaden McDaniels, he had foul trouble, so he wasn't how he usually is in these playoffs. Julius Randle was on fire to begin the game, but then he got cold offensively in that second half. Just could not find a shot to go down. Edwards, I mean, he only had 18 points.
He ended up with 28 points still.
No, and I'm saying Randall did great in the first half, but that second half he got cold. And Edwards, only 18 points. That's not enough from him. And anyone else, like the bench was ass. Nobody contributed. Dante only had 9 points. Conley only 7. Nikhil only 8. Naz Reid only had 4. Like you need at least one of these guys.
I mean, Conley's a starter.
Oh, my bad. So yeah, he just wasn't that good. But the bench was just awful. You need at least someone off that bench to get going offensively, and that's what really helped them because OKC is deep. They went to Kenrich Williams in this game, and he played in 4 games prior to this in his entire playoff run, and he was a huge factor defensively and offensively. Like his stats don't say much. He only had like let me make sure of this: 8 points, 3 rebounds, but he was still a plus minus plus 19. So that just shows he was a big contributor in the smallest factors. Minnesota needs just a little something out of that. They had 5 days of rest. OKC is coming off a game 7.
They're rusty.
Yeah, OKC. Oh, you would expect OKC to get rusty, but they weren't.
OKC. I actually expected Minnesota. I expected Minnesota to be rusty with all those days of rest.
To be fatigued.
They got the momentum.
They do have some momentum, but
and they stayed home. They didn't have to fly. They stayed home.
Yeah.
So for them, it was like another.
Regardless, that's a very emotional game 7. That is one of the first times that core has been battle tested in a game 7, and against Nikola Jokic was not easy.
True.
So I would expect at least some fatigue there, and Minnesota to be a little more aggressive, but it was the polar opposite.
Matthew?
Yeah, definitely want to piggyback on what Anthony mentioned about the game 1. I mean, I'll go off the limb here with Anthony Edwards. I mean, he's gotta get going on the offensive end, man. What they definitely need to do for game 2 is make adjustments, man. Watch film and figure out how they can give the ball to Anthony Edwards, in certain situations, especially when OKC is trying to like double team him, I think one of the things that they have to do is, play for Edwards specifically, play without the ball a little more, get some cardio going so that way he can get his shots up, and then also, pass the ball to your teammates without turning the ball over. That way, he can be a liability on offense and also defensively as well. And also, get Rudy Gobert and obviously Julius Randle, Dante DiVincenzo going, man. At least get some, double figures going. From what I saw last game, it wasn't enough from your key players. Dante DiVincenzo, 9 points, 1 rebound, 2 assists, 2 steals, and 1 block. Mike Conley, man, 7 points, 3 rebounds, and 3 assists. Anthony Edwards, 18 points, and then Julius Randle with 28 from the first half, and then completely disappeared. So everybody's got to give it their all in game 2. So
I mean, at the same time, yeah. Sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, no. So hopefully game 2, we can just hopefully game 2 the Timberwolves can learn from game 1 and make certain adjustments in order to win game 2. So.
At the same time, that Julius Randle went 9 for 13 shooting and 5 for 6 from the 3-point line. Even though because they limited his minutes in the second half because Thunder were already taking control of the rest of the game in the third quarter, and in the fourth quarter it was like, why leave Julius Randle and expose him? If this game just got out of our hands. So I understand what you guys said, but at the same time, he didn't have the same minutes as he did in the first half because the game was running away from Minnesota, and we still finished with 28 points in a good shooting night. That's what the reason what I'm saying. The reason what I'm saying is let's just try to cast off Julius Randle because he did his part, and he's basically reinvent himself in the postseason. We criticize him of getting too emotional, being inconsistent with the New York Knicks. Right now, he's been actually the most effective and consistent player for the Minnesota Timberwolves because even when Anthony Edwards is having a bad game, he's the one that basically is taking control offensively for the team. That's all. That's
definitely true. And again, I'm giving more credit to Randle in this game. It's just everyone else obviously underperformed, especially Anthony Edwards. You expect a lot better from him as a superstar. And at least not Reed off the bench to give you something. I mean, he is a 6th Man of the Year winner, so he should for sure have provided something more. But
he downgraded this season, dude. Really bad, really bad. And you see his playoff numbers. Do you see his playoff numbers, bro? 10 points per game, and you've seen games that he scores either 2 points or 4 points. Just like in this game, and he's also having a bad shooting. This is not the same 6th Man of the Year that we saw last year.
No, but I'm still confident to at least be able to rely on Naz Reid on something, or at least defensively.
What do you think, Kolya?
what do the Wolves need to do? They need to stop fouling Shea. That's the biggest thing. I know Shea kind of people, but I mean that's like honestly they gotta just they gotta stop Shea, and then I mean J Dub played really well in game one, 1985. So I think he's a big factor for the Thunder. This season he's been playing great, and in the playoffs he hasn't been playing as great, but I like in this game he played particularly well. Minnesota needs to kind of figure out how they're going to guard each of these guys.
Yeah, because McDaniel's fouled up.
I think that's going to be the big thing for the Timberwolves to study.
Nick?
I think it's not turning into the Miami Heat in the second half, honestly. I thought honestly Minnesota played a pretty decent game in the first half. They were winning in the first half. They only held the Thunder to 44 points. But to be fair, they only scored 48. It looked like a 90s game out there for a bit. It's just the collapse in the third quarter after that, honestly. They couldn't stop shots. They couldn't do anything defensively. They couldn't hit anything. It's just honestly not turning into the Miami Heat, because as Heat fans, we know that the Miami Heat have a tendency just to absolutely self-destruct in the second half, especially the third quarter. So
third quarter.
Yeah, man. Like outside of Julius Randle, I really think Minnesota just needs to get back to the drawing board for the second half, honestly, and just make adjustments, because they held Shea 2 for 13 in the first half. He only had 11 points. Majority of his points came from free throws. So piggybacking what you said, Kolya, they need to stop fouling him. But it's kind of hard not to do that, especially when you have your best defender in Jaden McDaniels defending him and fouling out. So I just think you got to get back to the drawing board if you're Minnesota, and you just reevaluate the third quarter and the fourth quarter, and you just, I don't know. I feel like I would say you play a little more relaxed, but against OKC you can't, because mind you, they shot 52% from three and 50% from the field last night. So I don't want to say you can't be too relaxed, but if you also play too much pressure on you, they're going to make you pay at the free throw line.
Also, this is again, I want to credit just OKC's bench, because it's not talked about enough, in my opinion. Again, Kenrich Williams came out of nowhere and was impactful right away. Yep. As a casual fan, they don't know who Kenrich Williams is outside of the OKC area. They don't know who that guy is. He's a 7-year vet. And again, he just stays ready. And as soon as I saw him on the court, I was like, okay, Mark Daigneault is going a little different here. And it paid off in a great way, because again, his numbers don't pop out, but he was still very impactful on both sides of the floor. There was even a moment, I believe it was the second quarter, where he was guarding Randall. Randall tried to jab step multiple times and just forced a bad shot. So that just shows his impact off the bench, having played barely any true minutes. OKC is deep and dangerous. That's why I think this bench is going to really elevate them to the finals.
Agreed, 100% agreed. I don't see any other team. I don't see Minnesota coming out of the West, especially if they play like that the entire game. I want to piggyback on the role players thing too. I really like Casey Wallace. I think Casey Wallace, regardless of how many points he puts up, he's a dog on the court.
He's like a Davion Mitchell type.
Him and Lou Dort defensively.
Yeah, man.
Mm-hmm. I really got one word for Minnesota: pray. Y'all gotta pray. Y'all gotta pray, because I gotta remind you guys that they faced a Lakers team which their second unit was trash, was horrible, and they didn't have a real big. And then Minnesota, like Nasri, Dante DiVincenzo, they had their moments, but at the same time, Minnesota's bench hasn't been that impactful. They relied too much in Anthony Edwards, Julius Randle, Jaden McDaniels. Amazing two-way players. He also, when he's hot from the three-point line, you know what I'm saying, he stays consistent with the rhythm. And then you got Mike Conley, which I think this could be even his last season. Like Mike Conley, last playoff series, first round, second round, even the third round, he had big moments for that team. He contributed. He produced. We haven't seen a game in every single series that Minnesota has played that you say he was an X factor. Mike Conley was an X factor. He's averaging below 5 points per game. And then at the same time, Rudy Gobert, yeah, big game against the Lakers. After that, what did we see with Golden State? I mean, Golden State also didn't have big men. So we already knew that it was going to be easier task for him. Golden State always plays small, and that's when you saw like Chris Finch sitting Rudy Gobert, limiting his minutes so he can put Nas Reed. He can put at the same time Dante DiVincenzo. Dante DiVincenzo at the same time, he hasn't been himself during the regular season or during the playoffs. This is not the Dante DiVincenzo from the New York Knicks. Like, I don't know.
I want to defend Dante just in this case. Like, there was a stretch where he looked like himself. Then he got injured with I forgot. I think it was his toe that had him sidelined for like 2 months. He had a rhythm and then lost it. So I just want to like defend him in that case because like, I like Dante.
I mean, at the same time, like if there's something that Chris Finch is not telling us, bro, look how the plus minus that he had yesterday. He went 3 for 14 shooting, 3 for 12 shooting, only 9 points. Nickel Alexander-Walker, he went 3 for 11, 2 for 9. Piggybacking on what you just said, Anthony, they were horrible. Nas Reed, 1 for 11, 0 for 7. I mean, are you kidding me? That's what the second unit contributed yesterday. Might as well would have stayed with the starters, just like Tom Thibodeau does with the New York Knicks. Because seeing Minnesota, basically, that's what I've been seeing with New York. They got a good starting lineup, not a better one than the Knicks. I'm agree with that. The Knicks got 2 better wing defenders, but at the same time, like they're relying either in Julius Randle or Anthony Edwards too much. And then when you see the second unit that are more veterans and are not as quick defensively, like the OKC second unit, that's a problem because they cannot produce either offensively or defensively. And remember, this team should have gone to the finals last postseason. They were the best defensive team. They were very aggressive and physical with every single team that they faced in the first round against Phoenix, with the second round against Denver, winning Game 7. And then the third round, it was mostly close games, and with Luka Doncic or somebody from the Mavericks hitting a clutch shot. Those were some of the losses for Minnesota.
Yeah, and PJ Washington went off in that playoff run. That's when he like his first season out of Charlotte. Like he blossomed in that playoff run for Dallas.
And I can say they were gassed out because, bro, you need to double Kevin Durant and Devin Booker in the first round. You have to double Jamal Murray, Aaron Gordon, Michael Porter Jr., Nikola Jokic in the second round. Then third round, you got to face Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving, and then the role players that they had around them, and the second unit. You know, like I picked Minnesota to win because of their defense, but offensively they weren't putting they weren't putting those points that they needed to like be in the same level as Dallas. And then when you see a first round with the Lakers, their second unit was trash. With the Golden State Warriors, all right, you had a couple of players. I mean, Jonathan Kuminga, when Stephen Curry went out, he was averaging 24 points per game. But he was the only one that we were seeing coming off the bench, basically contributing for the Golden State Warriors. And then, I'm sorry to tell you this, but if your GOAT, Jimmy Butler, would have been more impactful, maybe this could have been a better series against Minnesota. At the same time, I can criticize Draymond Green for certain games that basically, I don't know what he was doing. And then the rest of the starters, Brandon Pasienski, let's not even talk about him. He was so inconsistent. He was horrible shooting. So what I'm trying to say is that Minnesota's now facing what is the favorite team of the West from the beginning of the ending of the season, the most balanced team, offense and defensively. They are top 5 defensively, top 10 offensively, and they checked all the boxes in forcing turnovers, three-point line defending, shooting percentage, and in other different efficiency. And points allowed, they were top 5.
And then just a final point here, like this is one of like the biggest margins in terms of team stats. OKC outscored Minnesota in the paint, 54-20.
Wow. I mean, and at the same time, defensively, like, look what they did with the bench. Look what they did overall, forcing them to commit 17 turnovers. and they led Minnesota to a 34% shooting. And they look like Boston. Who's the one that said this earlier today? They look like Boston Celtics shooting 3.9 because they went 15 for 51.
Yeah,
Why in the hell were they shooting so many 3 points when they were not scoring it? Like, one thing is that you're hot.
It was prayers. It was prayers for anything.
Yeah, I was just trying to build momentum, honestly, at that point.
yeah.
And,
I mean, it's hard to stop the MVP. You know, I mean, Shea just won the MVP. You know,
Congratulations, Shea.
the second Canadian ever to do it.
Steve Nash.
From the Thunder.
And Steve Nash was the first one to win back-to-back, even though it's a little controversy because in 05, Shaquille O'Neal, in my opinion, with the Heat, should have won it. Kobe Bryant in 2006 should have won it as well. But, yeah, a lot of controversy with that, but that used to be my favorite point guard, so let's leave him out of it. He deserved both MVPs. We'll leave that topic. We'll leave that topic for another day. But yeah, most definitely Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. I felt like he deserved the MVP last season because he checked.
Yeah.
But, I mean,
I think it's correct. I think it's this year or last year should have gone to the Jokic.
I mean, so answer me this: why do you guys think that they announced the MVP after the series between them and the Nuggets? I know that the ESPN already voted. They had their people like Brian Windhorst, Stephen A. Smith, Kendrick Perkins, and others doing it. But at the same time, like, it's really weird and controversy because why do they usually do it in the semifinals? Why did they wait for the Western Conference? I mean, it was a duel between the two favorites to win the MVP. At the same time, even though the Nuggets were not the same team of last season and what we've seen since they won the championship, at the same time, Jokic's numbers were the best compared to all 3 MVPs that he had throughout his career. So one can say that Jokic should have won the MVP as well this season. But Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, well deserved. He led the lead in scoring. Also top 3 in steals. The best shooting percentage in general and 3 points. And he also contributed, he distributed the ball. Assist, rebounded. His team was number 1. But after all that I mentioned, at the same time, his leadership, he complements his surroundings, and so that's what actually supposed to mean MVP, filling all those boxes that I just said, and he did that last season.
I'll say this in terms of that. I thought he should have got Joel Embiid's MVP. I do not believe Joel Embiid.
You mean Jokic?
Yeah, I thought Jokic should have won Joel Embiid.
I can agree with that.
I'm pretty sure I talked to some of you guys about this, maybe like at work, maybe not. I don't remember. I said this a lot. I do not believe Joel Embiid is an MVP player. I just do not. I don't believe
he's just a scorer. He's just a scorer.
Even
a rebounder.
Even when he scores, it's nothing. He just puts up numbers, and yes, they're impressive, but I don't believe they're impactful. He's not a winning player. He's not an impactful player. He's not a player who makes his teammates better. Tyrese Maxey was great himself, not because of Embiid.
True.
And so I do not believe that year was an Embiid MVP year. Yes, numbers were great, but the Jokic numbers were better. And what did he do that year? He won the damn championship. So even when you try to give Joel Embiid that leg up, guess what? Jokic still goes above. So
Facts.
I believe he should have been the first MVP, I believe, since Larry Bird, to win 3 straight.
I think it should have been either Shea or Giannis to win that MVP as well. I mean, it was really a 3-way for me in that season. But Joel Embiid should not.
That was tough. That was tough. Yeah.
By any means, Joel Embiid did not deserve it, dude. I mean, yes, I understand team success is the biggest factor into that MVP trophy, in my opinion. Because if you are such a great player, you can lead your team to anywhere, and that's what LeBron did. That's what we saw with LeBron winning 2 championships with Miami Heat. We also saw he also won one with Cleveland, and he also won one with the Lakers. If you look at Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, right now he led his team to 68 wins this season, and he's been doing it. I don't want to say he's been doing like 68 wins consistently.
They can make it a 70
consistently. And he's been averaging 30 a game consistently. Like it's close to James Harden and Kobe Bryant numbers. It's insane to think about. This guy has been so good.
Even Katie and Russ didn't win 68 games together when they were in the
But that's what I'm saying, and that's why I believe that this is a very well-deserved MVP for Shea because of the team success that he has developed around him. You know, because yes, you could say like, oh yeah, the team's put together the right players. Okay, so it doesn't matter. Shea's balling out and he's leading this team to the promised land. That's enough, in my opinion. He's the MVP, and he should have won over Embiid, in my opinion.
It's fair to say because I have an article saved for when the MVP is announced, but I mentioned how if you take Shea out of this rotation, they don't run the same, or at least not as successful.
Of course,
they'd be a good team, but they're not a great team without him.
Yeah.
I mean, at the same time, you can say the same thing if you take Jokic out of Denver. Look at the plus minus.
Oh, they would be a tanking team.
They basically are horrible. You even saw Michael Malone before they fired him. He said what they asked when Jokic is in the bench. What adjustments should you guys do? Pray.
Yeah.
Basically, and I can say differently from the Sixers. I mean, without Joel Embiid, they're still a good team. It's just that Paul George was horrible. He was averaging one of his worst career stats. Tyrese Maxey was injured, and he did all he could. And then Guerson Yabusele, the French, he actually balled better than other veterans like Kelly Oubre Jr., Eric Gordon, Caleb Martin, other pieces that they recruited. Like, it was a big chaos, which we'll have enough topics for that during the summer to talk about. But
also, just to cap that off, Joel Embiid's still the only MVP to not make the conference finals.
That's crazy.
Let's leave it at that.
That's crazy. Other thing I wanted to elaborate here is that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, he had 31 points, but he needed to shoot 27. He had 27 shots and only made 10. In the free throw line, he went 11 for 14. So that's a horrible shooting night for a guy that was averaging almost 50% shooting, 40% from the three-point line, 90%. He was almost part of that 50, 40, 90 club.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then we've seen some of the playoff games that he has a bad shooting, but he's like the Boston Celtics. He's going to keep on shooting and shooting. He's still going to be...
He plays with that confidence, and unironically, he plays with that aura.
Exactly. And
the aura was so like spectacular that he got a foul on Jaden McDaniels and still made the and one from damn near the floor.
Yep. That's what I'm saying, bro. Like this guy is a well-deserved MVP, and I really hope he wins the finals this year. I really hope he takes OKC to the promised land to complete what Durant and Westbrook couldn't do.
And now he's eligible to a $380 million contract, making him the highest paid player. Like, we're gonna be seeing that's gonna continue to increase to $400 million to whichever player, you know what I'm saying, like becomes the face of the league.
Yeah.
Also, like this is not a topic we're gonna dive into much, but like let's say Shai signs that this offseason or whenever he can sign that. What Luka cannot ask for more. One, because obviously he can't because the Lakers he can't, he's not eligible. But also it's funny just because of the fact that you got to the finals, but clearly this guy has a step over you right now.
I mean, speaking of that, like it's crazy because we already saw it coming. We already know Tatum was gonna have the highest contract, but it's crazy that they gave him that kind of money. I would have given even a $50 million extra to Jaylen Brown for winning MVP in the Eastern Conference and MVP in the NBA Finals. And he's been more consistent since he started his career in the NBA during the playoffs than Jason Tatum. Tatum, he's only had big games, like the most important games, like Klay Thompson did with the Golden State Warriors. But then you saw Klay Thompson disappearing for that team. And then Durant or Stephen Curry had to step in, you know what I'm saying? And we've seen that same thing. And Tatum, he even got minutes with the USA team. And what's crazy is how the committee elected Derek White, which is a good two-way player, and he played with US in the, if I'm not mistaken, the 2020 Olympics. But then even Drew Holiday, like he was in the roster as well. Like, I mean, Jaylen Brown deserved to be with the US national team.
I mean, Brown deserves it. It's just there's politics behind it. Like more specifically with Nike.
Yeah. That was the reason why
he didn't make it, but that's something that we shouldn't. I'm not gonna try to dive deep into it.
This is the kind of season that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's having. If he wins the
Yeah.
MVP, I mean, he's already won the MVP. So if he wins a championship and the Finals MVP this year, he would join 10 other NBA Hall of Famers to do that in the same season.
Those are Larry Bird,
Jordan obviously is on there.
Jack,
LeBron.
Yeah, I said LeBron.
Willis Reed, Kareem.
Moses, and Kareem. Yeah. So, I mean, that's the kind of season that Shai is having. So he's having an unbelievable season.
Almost a perfect. He still gotta get a chip.
I mean, they gotta get there first. So,
I mean, right now they look like the favorite. Like not only in this series, but against the Pacers and they got the same, let's just say, depth as the Pacers, and even younger, fresher legs that can play better defense than the Pacers. I mean, that's no comparison. And then with the Knicks, like how much are they gonna rely on the starters? So right now, like the Thunder, they stay healthy, they got the whole thing, and it could be considered a disappointing season for them if they don't win the chip. I mean, forget about making the finals. I don't think that they should be like satisfied with that. They need to win it all because right now, like all the veteran teams, like with experience, are out in both Eastern and Western. We thought we were gonna see either Cleveland or OKC, Boston or OKC. None of those are in the East, and in the West, their toughest task was the Denver Nuggets because they had to play the best player in the whole world, and they had size. And even Aaron Gordon playing with one leg, he had a decent game, 7. Michael Porter Jr. was disappeared the whole series. I mean, I don't know if he's in the Sahara Desert or wherever he is right now, because I don't know if it was mentally or for what happened with his brother this season. I mean, being banned from the NBA and
he had a bum shoulder. He actually could not even lift it up like above his head, so he couldn't even get rebounds. He can barely shoot it off. He can barely shoot it from 3.
Yeah, no, and
I wanted to say you could also argue that OKC has more depth than the Pacers. Just again, you get Kenrich Williams off your bench and contribute. That's dangerous, right there.
No, I mean, and it was only 3 shots, but they were perfect shots, 3 for 3, and 2 for 2 from the 3-point line.
Again, like on the Pacers, they have a reliable bench, and they're great at that.
Yeah,
but they can't really get one of the guys who don't play minutes to come off and be impactful like Kenrich was.
What's great,
you can't call James Johnson and be like, "Give me at least 8."
Yeah.
Who give you 8 punches?
But look what they did in Game 5 with Thomas Bryant. Thomas Bryant he was effective there instead of just only relying on TJ McConnell, Benedict Mathurin, and other players in the second unit. I mean, that would be, I don't know if that would be a better matchup than the New York Knicks. Because, I mean,
it'd be competitive.
Offensively, both of them are elite. But then defensively, Thunder are ranked way better than the Pacers.
Yep.
Yeah.
Listen, this series against New York and Indiana, in my opinion, is going to go Pacers in 6. After that, it's going to be the Thunder winning the whole championship. I had Dallas winning the finals this year if their entire team was healthy. Mm-hmm. Obviously, we saw the team wasn't healthy.
Yeah,
OKC came into these series favored to win it all. Say again?
And obviously, we had the biggest trade in NBA history.
Oh, exactly. That's what I'm saying. But even with that biggest trade in NBA history, the Lakers went nowhere. They might lose LeBron next season, most likely, because he's probably going to play another year. And yeah, man. I mean, the Thunder are the clear favorites to win it. Like, I just don't see any other team to win the finals.
And you know what's crazy? That they put Alex Caruso on Jokic. And he contained him. I'm not saying he stopped him but he contained him and he made him force a lot of turnovers, bad shots. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's what the Thunder needed. The Thunder were the youngest team last season, and all right, it came number 1 in the West. They were top 10 offensive and defensively. Mark Daigneault, Coach of the Year, well deserved. Shai Gilgeous should have won the MVP, in my opinion. Chet Holmgren was second candidate to win Rookie of the Year. I mean, they had the pieces, and Jalen Williams was ascending basically as a scorer, at the same time looking like a star player. But what they needed were mentors guys that know what it takes to win a chip, like Alex Caruso. Isaiah Hardenstein, he hasn't gone to the finals in any of both conferences, but he was one game away. If the Knicks wouldn't have been injured with Randall, Mitchell Robinson, then they losing Josh Hart, they losing Jalen Brunson, Bojan Bogdanovic. I mean, the Knicks were one game away, and Isaiah Hardenstein, he was a big X factor in both series that they won against Philadelphia and the Indiana Pacers. So those were like basically the best signings in the whole free agency. I mean, we can talk about Paul George with the Sixers. We can talk about the moves that other teams did, but those were two, let's just say, silently but dangerously signings to get them over the hump. And them losing Chet Holmgren at the beginning of the season, they were still balling. They still made it to the finals of the in-season tournament. And when they lost against Milwaukee, basically, all right, how do you say? All right, that's a lesson to learn. You know what I'm saying? Like now we have those type of experience. What it takes to make it. I mean, it's an in-season tournament, but at the same time, like they were undefeated.
Some taste of playoff experience.
Exactly, and they already had it last playoff experience, and now making it to this one, Denver for me was like their biggest test. And a lot of people would say Denver's not gonna lose 2 straight semifinal 7-game series. A lot.
This is what the in-season tournament equals, Raul. That's what that equals. Nothing. That is.
Wait, go ahead.
Nothing to a team. It literally just sends them to Vegas to make us like $100,000, which is like a penny in their paycheck, bro.
500.
500. My mistake. Sorry.
Hey, you sent me to Vegas and pay me $500 out, man. Come on.
Yeah, for you, but LeBron.
And right now, OKC and Indiana Pacers are the only 2 teams to make to a finals in the in-season. Both of them lost, but both of them are certain games away to make it to the real championship,
Also,
to the real finals.
Caruso, like the moment he stripped the ball from Jokic at the 3-point line.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Transitioning behind the back to Jalen Williams.
Yeah,
That was beautiful basketball right there.
It just goes to show you. Yeah, it just goes to show you like who Alex Caruso is. I mean, we've seen his defense literally throughout his entire career. I mean, look at what he did with the Lakers against the Heat in the bubble, man. Caruso was such a threat on defense, and his offense was just astounding to watch. I mean, look at him now with OKC against the Denver Nuggets. I mean, he was all over Jokic, man. Like just defending him like no other.
And you saw him in the second half against Anthony Edwards.
yeah.
And what's scary is that the Anthony Edwards has had already 2 or 3 different scares in every single series against the Lakers, against the Warriors, and now with the Thunder with that ankle issue.
Was it the same one? I didn't see when that play happened.
If I'm not mistaken, it's the same one. So like I don't know what he's taking to keep the blood flowing, the blood pumping. But you know what I'm saying? Like also if he's playing not healthy, because we've seen when teams get eliminated and all of a sudden it goes on air. Torn meniscus. Jaylen Brown had torn meniscus. LeBron was battling this type of injury. Austin Reeves, this and that. We saw it multiple times with Kawhi Leonard and the Clippers. Like all of a sudden, after us trying to like find where are the sources that covered that team to let the public know, all right, this is what's happening with Kawhi Leonard. That's why he's not playing the rest of the series. All of a sudden, torn ACL, torn meniscus, this hamstring, this and that.
You're giving Kolya like some PTSD with the Clippers. Man. You're giving some PTSD right
now. I forgot. My bad.
Injuries, man.
What's crazy too is you think Oklahoma City is good now? They have 30 picks in the next 6 years.
Yeah.
Sam Presti.
Anthony did not like that one.
No, I think his dinner is ready. He had to. Yeah.
Put 2 strikes.
That's not gonna strike for Anthony.
No, put 2 strikes.
2 strikes? That's
That's 2 strikes. That's 2 strikes. He's got 1 more, so he better not say.
He's got all 3.
He better not say a stupid or incoherent comment for the rest of the show.
Oh, there we go. He's got it.
Wait, how come I got 2? Why I get 2?
I thought dinner was ready. Isn't dinner ready?
Don't worry about it.
Ma, the meatloaf. We want it now.
Meatloaf, come on, man. Don't do me like that.
So basically, yeah, just to end this topic, man, Minnesota, yeah, of course they got to make their adjustments, especially on the defensive side, because Minnesota actually, since the last 2 seasons, they've been better defensively. I mean, you saw Anthony Edwards calling his team out in the beginning of the season that they were horrible offensively, and then they got little by little better, but at the same time, they've never been that impactful offense. They actually make more either points off turnover or transition points. They're also not like a big 3-point team. They had their games, but at the same time, it's their defense that's actually gotten them this far, like we saw last postseason. So defensively, at the same time, what else can they do with Shea? He had a bad shooting night. Jalen Williams at the same time didn't have like a big shooting night, and they still like had double-digit points. And then you got Shed Holmgren and Isaiah Hartenstein doing an amazing job down the paint. And then when you see a guy like Kaysen Wallace, which Anthony, if I'm not mistaken, who was the one that said Kaysen Wallace is always going to be a dog at the court? Nick. I mean, bro, yesterday he only had 3 shots. He scored 3 points, but then he had 7 assists. So he's going to contribute in certain ways. The same way with Isaiah Joe one night, Alex Caruso, Aaron Wiggins, Jalen Williams at the same time when they need a big man.
I don't know if you like Chet Holmgren, but you don't gotta call him Shit Holmgren.
I said Chet, man. I mean, if we're gonna be talking about that, I mean, his free throw is Shed Holmgren. Shed Holmgren. Bro, they
end this soon to get to some.
Let's go with the next topic, because this is the one that Nick has been waiting for 46 minutes, and is the the Florida Panthers, which they piggyback from what they left off in the last series, and they beat 5-2. Look at Nick. He wants a sweep. He's feeling a sweep. I mean, I don't know, man. At the same,
Get us off the screen.
They got a lot of clips for Instagram with this.
I mean, at the same time, like the Panthers, just like Nick has been saying all along, offensively, they are balling. Yep. But at the same time, Sergei Bobrovsky, last 2 games, he's only allowed 3 goals. And what's the only thing that is scary mostly about the Hurricanes, in my opinion, is a little bit of the defense, which they were bad yesterday. And their goalkeeper has only allowed 12 goals in the whole playoff series. He has 177 saves out of 189. Only allowed 12, and 5 of those were in this game. So that's something that we also should be thinking about.
Well, yeah, I mean, but listen, we've blown these guys out before. We are 8-0 against these guys in the conference finals. Like this, we've swept these guys twice now. And according to their head coach, that never happened. Even though he was there, it never happened. And we showed them last night that it's going to happen again. I believe in the sweep. Like my friend Alex Reyes says, believe in the sweep, Florida, because I see it coming. And last year, I don't want to jinx it, because last year I told him, yo, man, don't believe in the sweep, though, because anything can happen in hockey. And, you know, I'm going to believe in the sweep, though, because the guys, they look ready, man. I think, though, last night was a game of rust versus ready, because Carolina hadn't played in a minute, and Florida was fresh off the win against Toronto in Game 7. They balled out as per usual. That third line, again, man, like, it's the greatest third line in all of hockey right now. I don't understand how everyone's talking about this third line of Florida with Brad Marchand, Eetu Osterrain, and Anton Lundell. They've been absolutely incredible for the Florida Panthers.
I mean, they all complement each other. For real.
That's the thing, too. And then last night, we saw Brad Marchand getting into another fight. He got getting kicked off the ice again last night. Absolutely incredible, bro. I think Florida fans are really just falling in love with this guy, man.
I mean, and Thomas Nosek and Evan Rodriguez, they didn't score a goal, but both of them had 2 assists.
Yeah, man. And, you know, and that's great. And that's good for Rodriguez, too, especially coming off of injury. And the entire team is just clicking, man. And they're hungry for another ring. They're hungry for another title. Yes, you have Edmonton in the West and Dallas in the West. They're going to be competing.
Yeah.
I think that series is going to go to 7, honestly. But, yeah, man. Sorry, we have a little technical difficulties over here with the light.
Nah, you're good. And, bro, I'll give credit to Sam Bennett and Carter Verhaeghe. Right now, they basically are checking all the boxes, either scoring goals or assists. I mean, Verhey has 4 and 4 in the postseason, 8 points. And then you got Sam Bennett with 6 goals and 3 assists right now. I mean, I understand the offense has been explosive. And it's the reason mostly why, you know what I'm saying, they dominated Tampa Bay Lightning. Then the Toronto Maple Leafs, they were 0-2, but then they came back. And then right now, like 6-1 last game, 5-2 in this one. At the same time, we got to give credit to the defense. Aaron Ekblad, he had 1 goal from the defense side. But Sergei Bobrovsky, for me, he's always been since last postseason, after that amazing run that they have. Right now, he's 9-4, like in wins and losses. And yesterday, he had 31 saves out of 33. And this tops off that he is 287 saves out of 317. Like, that's wild.
And
that's wild for him.
As a Panthers fan, and Bob we trust, bro. If he's always in the net, even when he's 1-on-1 against the guy, I'm always on Bob's side, regardless of what happens, you know, because I know that guy's gonna save it. But I wanna piggyback though on what I was saying before about Italo Sterainen and the Florida Panthers, and I also want to piggyback on what you were saying about the offense. Dude, we have 8 players right now that have 10 points or over on the team. That's
crazy.
Yeah, it's historic. And our best player right now is Italo Sterainen with 13 points. He has 4 goals and 9 assists. Right after that, we have Brad Marchand, 3 goals, 9 assists, 12 points. Like, again, I've just never seen a hockey team like this before, where you're relying this deep in your bench to get you.
Definitely, most definitely, Matthew.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely think the Panthers can definitely get a win on game 2. What definitely helped last game was the 2 power play goals. They had a very, very nice pace, and
that's a good point, Matthew. That's a good point, because yesterday, how much did they have? They had like a 66.7% power play.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
The Hurricanes were number 1. They were number 1 in the league in defending the penalty kill.
Yep.
And the Panthers got 2 goals off of it, as you know, Matthew was saying. But I mean, you know, this Panthers team.
We've owned these.
They're really good.
We've owned Carolina for years now, and it's incredible to watch.
I'm excited for tonight, though.
So
between Dallas and Edmonton, I think that's going to be.
Who do you think is like the biggest threat? The Edmonton Oilers again, 2 straight Stanley Cup Finals, or the Dallas Stars can surprise?
Edmonton, like Nick was telling me, what's the guy's name you were telling me about that you scared?
Leon Draisaitl.
Yeah, just because of how he creates for the other guys. So like, I mean, like Nick and I were talking about this in private, just how this really like is trending towards a back-to-back between the Panthers and Edmonton. So if that's the case, I mean, the Panthers just give you the full confidence that no matter what, no matter the circumstances, they'll get it done. It's just that kind of team. They don't rely on nobody. They don't rely on the top players. It's just perfect team hockey.
Especially when they have the best player in the whole league, Connor McDavid.
And also,
and basically, sorry, Matthew, I'm gonna give it to you right now, and especially when they're having basically a revenge season.
Go ahead, Matthew.
I mean, they're hungry. They're more hungry than any other team right now, in my opinion. Edmonton is looking for their revenge on Florida, and that's what they want after that game.
Go ahead, Matthew.
Yeah, no, and then also too, I mean, you know, just looking at their stats, AJ Greer had like 3 shot on goals, and then Sam Bennett 3 shot on goals, really with 6 road goals, most in the NHL. I mean, big numbers for Sam Bennett. I mean, Evan Rodriguez 2 points, 2 assists, but I'm definitely fully confident in this Panthers team, especially with, you know, Brad Marchand. He's just like he's fun to watch, man. Hopefully we can definitely learn and see what they did last game, and hopefully they can gain some momentum going into game 2.
Most definitely, and at the same time, they had 21 shots blocked. 21 shots blocked. Like, it's both ends of the ice, literally. So, but right now they look like the most completed team. But now the question says, can the Panthers get greedy and steal game 2? That's one for every single one of you guys.
What do you think, Raul? No, what do you think, Raul? Do you think the Panthers are going to get greedy?
Yep.
Steal game 2?
I feel that they can take game 2, and then I mean you're predicting a sweep, so they need to steal game 2 in order to do that.
Yeah, I mean, listen, they're going to. I'm just asking you. You already know my prediction for the series. I'm asking you guys now. I mean, I'm curious.
I'm gonna go with you. I'm not trying to disrespect the Hurricanes, but after everything that you've mentioned about the past between both teams, I'm going with the sweep. I'm going with the sweep. Kolya?
I'm gonna take the Hurricanes in game 2, man.
Of course.
Of course, man. You really, bro. Seriously, bro? Can you move to Los Angeles right now and you can do the podcast from there? Because literally, man. Come on, man.
But how would that represent the Hurricanes?
I mean, you can go to LA. Anthony can go to San Francisco, and then the real Florida fans and the real Florida teams can stay here.
Not with them taxes.
Not with them Texas, for real. All right, guys. So the last 5 minutes, let's do this quick last topic. WNBA. Last year was the best season ever. You had AJ Wilson winning the 3rd MVP. You had Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese in that big battle for Rookie of the Year. Both of them.
Was it a big battle?
It was, bro. And I was looking at it. Obviously, Caitlin Clark had the edge, but when you see all the records that Angel Reese broke, the reason why that her disadvantage is because she's not a shooter. And she's basically not like a top scorer. But if she basically, how do you say, like works on her game, especially on the free throw, like that's what she got to do in order to like basically let the league know that she should be considered in the nearest future, not now, but like a top player that can also make the USA team for the next Olympics. Right now, she's not convincing that she's a double-double stats player. But at the same time, like she gotta get better in the shooting percentage, free throw line. She doesn't shoot 3-point shots. She doesn't do 3-point shots at the same time. That's why Caitlin Clark was the clear favorite. But before the second half of the season, they were actually on that race. And ESPN was talking about Angel Reese leading as rookie, as a favorite candidate of Rookie of the Year, which I understand because I mean, you already know that this rivalry between Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark has been since collegiate level. Basically,
beef though.
What?
Caitlin doesn't even acknowledge this.
I know she doesn't acknowledge the media.
Anyone with look, when you like Angel Reese and anyone who's on her side are the only ones that are really trying to make this a beef. Yeah. But Caitlin's just balling. It's simple as that. I don't see it as a rivalry. It's just a one-sided beef at this point.
It's more envy.
Bro,
it's more envy.
Did you watch the game against the Sky at all?
Of course. I mean, she made a common foul. I understand that. Yeah, it was just a common foul. It was not. She turned around.
She made a basketball play, and the media.
Bro, I
made a flagrant too.
What did I stutter that, Anthony? Did I stutter when I said that? The media. It's just that because they're trying to. Okay, when have you seen like a Magic Johnson, Larry Bird type of rivalry in the WNBA? Never.
Yeah,
never.
Never. And then you're talking about a girl that can average like 50, 40, 90s, and then you're talking about a girl that can average 20, 10, and 0, basically.
All right. That's what I'm trying to say, because even when we can see, they're trying to create sparks with the WNBA. Guys, they're trying to have revenue. They're trying to get the salary going for the women. They're trying to create controversy, conspiracy. I understand that, but it's a topic that's been talking about since the championship when Angel Reese did this to Caitlin Clark. Even though Caitlin Clark did it in the last rounds of the March Madness, I understand that, bro. But they're trying to create something that doesn't exist. I understand that. Caitlin Clark doesn't have beef with her. Angel Reese is trying to get like publicity in certain ways. She right now she's not like averaging those stats that she did in the collegiate level, and she's forcing it too much. She's taking bad shots, offensive rebounds. She's not bringing it outside. She's trying to like make second, third chance points. I understand that, but the reason why media is creating this is because, all right, we haven't seen like a big rivalry in the WNBA. and they're trying to create like how do you say, give it a little bit more flame to it, give it a little bit like something that we'd be talking about like in the nearest future, that these two can actually see each other in a championship game, but in the professional level, and basically be like mano a mano, because even the two faces of the league, Brianna Stewart and AJ Wilson, they don't got beef, they love each other. I mean, where is that entertainment? We want to see. We saw them play in the last second round playoffs, and then we saw them in the championship with the Aces won. But we haven't seen like that beef, that, you know what I'm saying, like that fight between them. I mean, I know like women gotta be united, but come on, man. Like, this is a professional level. They've been also like talking about like they're not given the respect that they deserve, which is true. I understand that. Like right now, I mean, the ratings are going sky high little by little. So I mean, these women need to get paid. I understand that, because they now are having like they're having good publicity. They're sponsors since the collegiate level, and now what we're seeing. Like, I understand all of that, but right now we're trying to like, how do you say, throw the rock and hide the hand, and then basically let these players like fight it off. Like Kennedy Carter, apparently, like, since she at the same time wasn't getting that much publicity, she got it when she basically hammered Caitlin Clark. We've seen Dejanay Carrington with the Connecticut Sun. Now she's with the Dallas Wings, having like a little like defending too hard Caitlin Clark, which is for me fine. Hey, welcome to the league. Welcome to, but we've seen so many fouls on Caitlin Clark that you're like, come on, guys, that's excessive. What are you guys doing? Like, we can see the envious from miles away.
Because a lot of people, there are a lot of people that don't like Caitlin Clark in the WNBA, and she's going to get a lot more, like hard fouls against her. So she's going to need to take that and, use that to her advantage,
Yeah, no, at the same time.
The outside game going.
Let me just say
Because if she hits a three on you, she's going to let you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but also here's the thing.
I'll answer this question real quick. This was a great win, good win by the Atlanta Dream. Who are a sleeper team. I mean, they got.
They are.
They got Brittany Griner. And she played really well yesterday. And Indiana's a good up and coming team. So this was a kind of a surprise win by the Dream.
In my opinion, was not a surprise, because people have been focusing, obviously, the Liberty, who are the favorites. The East is going to be more competitive this season than the West, and it was vice versa in the past seasons, because lots of the players, veterans or stars that used to be in the West, now are in the East. I mean, we saw Brittany Griner now going with the Atlanta Dream. We've seen Natasha Cloud. Even though she was like with the Washington Mystics and she'd been with other teams, now she's with the New York Liberty, which that makes them even a bigger threat. We've seen Dewana Bonner now with the Indiana Fever, which she's been horrible in the first two games. I understand that. Wait until she get a rhythm.
First game, because she got the points. She's now like third in scoring in WNBA history. So
yeah. And in the Atlanta Dream, also they got Tina Charles, which is number 2. Behind Diana Taurasi. So like the East is gonna be very interesting. But right now, for me, it was not surprising, because looking at this roster, this has been the best roster the Atlanta Dream has ever had, in my opinion, historically.
I'll say this as like, again, someone who's actually wanted to get into the league a little bit more. Like, I was more so impressed with correct if I pronounce her name wrong, Brianna Jones.
Yeah, Brianna Jones.
Yeah, I was impressed with her. Double-double, 19 points, 13 rebounds.
Crazy.
She was aggressive.
6 offensively.
Yeah, I really like the way that she played. She also like showed a lot of hustle there. So I was very impressed with her. And good win for the Dream. And I'll say this: like, if this league is going to grow, it starts with Caitlin. Like, I'm not saying they gotta bow down to her, of course not. But the whole hate is unnecessary. It's one thing to foul hard.
I mean, I agree with you, because what we saw with Caitlin Clark in the collegiate level, that was coming. You know what I'm saying? That we saw that she basically you saw sports analysts like Stephen A. Smith saying she's a Stephen Curry of college basketball, and then entering the league. Right now, she and Sabrina Ionescu are gonna be like the two best shooters that we're gonna be watching. But in my opinion, like right now the league is getting every single year better.
Yeah, it's getting
Especially when we're seeing the future. Like, I mean, this has been the first decade that we like been paying attention to the future prospect. We started with Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. Then we saw Paige Beckers, which she balled. And then who's coming? Juju Watkins. She's on its way. And they're basically like clearing that path for the rest of the young women athletes. Right now, representing sports.
We need to stop with this, just playing the propaganda game, and just like they need to do a better job at covering it, because they're making it seem like as if she is the villain, she's like the problem. No, this is the start of where you want it to be for years.
Decades.
Caitlin is the foundation of the league.
Yeah.
So, like trying to pinpoint her as like, oh, she's the issue, and trying to make Angel Reese seem like a goddess. No. Just acknowledge that they're great players, acknowledge the game itself, and build from it, because like you said, there are going to be a lot of great women coming soon to the league and grow more and more from there, and they're going to get paid pretty nicely after that.
Yeah, and that's what
you guys off. I just want to say the WNBA really just needs to market their superstars better, in my opinion. Because
that's true. That's true.
Right now, the WNBA is projected to lose $50 million this year, and they're not going to get that back.
Well, they lose $50 million.
They lose $50 million every year, but that's what I'm saying. Like, regardless of viewership, you're not marketing this game well, and it's hard to market the game well because you're comparing it to the NBA. Fans aren't going to watch it because it's unfortunate, but the game is slower than it is in the NBA. And it's harder to watch it. Like, that's why I haven't put input on this.
We're doing everything to for the ratings to grow, because you're seeing public figures, politics, celebrities, artists, athletes coming in to support them, watching the games, and then the TV ratings actually have increased. But that's mostly what Anthony said. Caitlin Clark coming into the league. Then you're seeing the Paige Beckers. You're gonna be seeing the Juju Watkins, which all of them have been sponsored since the collegiate level. Like right now, the league is getting stronger, but in my opinion, it was last decade, like from the 2015 and over, when Brianna Stewart was entering, when AJ Wilson was entering, joining Sue Bird, the Diana Taurasi's, the Brighton and Grinders, the Tina Charles.
The NBA couldn't market the superstars well, though. Like, I hope that with Paige Beckers and Juju Watkins, and even now with Caitlin Clark, we're seeing that they haven't really marketed her that well. Not as
they can do better.
They can do better. But that's what I'm saying.
Like, women in media. And I'm not trying to, like, okay, that's a bad start. Hang on, let me rephrase that. Okay.
Rephrase that. Rephrase that. Go back. See?
I'm going back. I'm going to go back.
That's what happens when you're paying attention to Milo.
Media in general. Any journalist that's in the WNBA that's outside of the Indiana area, you need to stop seeing Caitlin as some problem or some privileged player. No, she's just the most talented to come across your league. Yes, you have a lot of more legends, but not as talented as Caitlin. So stop pinpointing her as some sort of issue.
And to end this topic before I give it to you, Nick, bro, literally, like, since last season, the Fever, surprisingly, because they were like the years before, they were the worst teams, and they started bad. They came back and made it to the playoffs. Now this season, they actually look like a threat in the East, but because now they're recruiting the pieces around Aaliyah Boston, which was also a number 1 pick, and Caitlin Clark to get them some help. But the Fever, for the second season, they're having the most televised games. What I'm trying to say with this is that all the teams that are facing the Fever, hey, it's your time to shine against Caitlin Clark and the Fever. Get recognized.
Yes.
And
you know what I'm saying?
Let Matthew get in this.
Yeah, and to your point also, I mean, Caitlin Clark, even though the Fever lost to the Atlanta Dreams, I mean, Caitlin Clark is still making WNBA history. I mean,
you put an interesting stat, Anthony. Which was it?
20 points, 10 assists in back-to-back games, first ever in WNBA history.
Beginning the season, or
no, just in general.
Yeah. it gets better though because she's, she made WNBA history by scoring 347 career assists. 337 in her rookie year and 10 against the Chicago Sky in their opening win. She's
triple double, the triple double.
Right. She's literally the fastest player ever to reach 350 career assists. Also,
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Become the fourth fastest player in league history with 800 or points. And then she's already broken the record in literally WNBA single season assists. And that was from when she was a rookie. She tied Candace Parker for the third most triple doubles in WNBA history. How about that?
That's crazy. Especially she leads in points, assist, and rebound in the collegiate level from women's side, and in points in general, both women and men. Like she fills all the boxes, but not. But at the same time, like Angel Reese, like she did good in college, and in her first rookie season, like she also broke Candace Parker records. She broke like Tina Charles records, like one of the greatest, and others. What she gotta do, like, to lead that frustration out at the same time? Because I want to see her doing what she did back in LSU, like being a big impactful player, being very efficient. She gotta work on her game at the same time. Like that's not Caitlin Clark or anybody's fault. And the organization where she's part of also gotta do a better job, like helping her do adjustments with like the free throw line, 3-point shooting, and like with those offensive rebounds that she takes. All of a sudden, she even like throws even a crazier shot. Instead of like, all right, if you're guarded by 2 or 3, pass the ball, take it out, find a wide open teammate, like be a distributor at the same time. So there's other things that she can get better, and she can be like a big impactful and threat in the WNBA.
She's still young, so it'll take time.
Yeah.
We'll definitely doubt that, but she got to get that ego in check, though. I'm sorry. That ego, that rookie season, good lord.
But as Nick was saying, and as you guys were saying, the WNBA, they need to market themselves better. But the league is still super young, right? They're only in like their 26th season, something like that. So,
they're actually 29, going to 30.
Yeah, compared to the NBA, where it's like 100.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
the league will still need to develop, and over time, I think you'll see them. They'll have a strategy in.
But personally, I don't think they have that much time because even right now.
Yeah, I mean, they have a couple of years, but what I'm saying is, they really need to start marketing.
No,
But give us some time because as these players develop more and more, you can market them better.
100%.
Yeah, most definitely. Can they do a better job? Because right now, we're doing our part. Watching on TV for the ratings, hearing it in the radio, going to the games. Because you're seeing they're filling every single seats for every single franchise, especially when they play the Fever or they play the Aces, the Liberty, etc. Like now the league has got to do their part, and that's very understandable. Just to like end this episode, Nick. Didn't you wanted to say something about a certain team that today apparently like?
Don't make me stop. Don't make me. don't put me in. Listen, I'm happy with my Florida Panthers, but
Man United.
Get it.
This team right here needs a culture change. Oh my God! If I have to see Harry Maguire one more time next season at striker, I am going to lose my mind, bro.
And that's
No excuses today for against Tottenham. No
Man.
excuses against the Spurs, bro. Because we suck. It's just it is what it is. We are in a banter era, but we've made 5 finals and we suck. It is insane to think about.
I bet you missed those days with Cristiano Ronaldo and Wayne Rooney and those type of players that actually took you to the promised land. Man, those were the good times for Manchester United. Everybody knows that it's all about Vizca Barça and Real Madrid and those type of. Barcelona won the Triple Crown. Barcelona won the Triple Crown for the first time in 7 years. La Copa del Rey, La Supercopa, and recently La Liga. Lamine Yamal, 17 years old, and he's killing it.
Bro, he's balling. I'm just happy to see Real Madrid on the downfall, especially.
Oh yeah, of course. Hey, who doesn't?
And I really hope we see a PSG Champions League victory, especially without Mbappe, just to rub it in their faces.
For real.
We have Neymar, Messi, and Mbappe, but even without all of them, we have Dembele, who's basically been like their guy.
And they also had Neymar. They had that big three, and they didn't accomplish like nothing.
And they did absolutely nothing with them. And then the first season without all three of their big stars that were signed gone, they're already in the Champions League final.
Yep, for real. Well, guys, Matthew, got anything else to say, or Anthony, Kolya?
The Connecticut Sun could be sold pretty soon.
I mean, look what they did. I mean, they left. I mean, Dewana Bonner left. Dejanay Carrington left. Like right now, they could be like last. Compare being the best defensive team last year, and then making it all the way to the Eastern Finals and losing. Like they could have actually been a team that could have continued being a threat in the East. All of a sudden, all the star players have left. They could be actually the worst team in this league right now. So,
actually, like I talked to Kolya about this. I read an article that there is a group in the Boston area led by I forget. I think his name is Johnny Wahlberg.
Mark Wahlberg.
Donnie Wahlberg. Yeah, Donnie. Like
the Wahlberg.
Like he's leading a group to potentially buy the Connecticut Suns and move them to Boston.
They are, yeah, of course.
Miami.
The Boston Wahlbergs.
Miami.
Miami, bro.
Nah, man, we're focusing on the Miami 305 from the Big Three. That's what we're focusing on. I can't wait for that day of event for the Kaseya Center. I mean, bro, they got pieces. I mean, and Michael Beasley with Mario Chalmers made it to the finals last year, even though they lost. I mean, I'm talking about the Big Three.
I was like, why are we talking about the LeBron dynasty? Yeah, dude, I saw that. Yeah, no, I'm excited for that. That's going to be fun to work.
Bro, and it's the first time that every single team now is representing a city.
Yeah, man.
Either a city or state.
Because Lance Stevenson got drafted ahead of him.
And they got Reggie Evans and Michael Cooper. Michael Cooper has been a good coach and was a good player. So, man, the Miami 305, I can't wait for them.
Hey, man, but Joe Johnson's still in that league. Joe Johnson's still MVP.
The trip from the triplets, yeah, you're right. I mean, this and it's gonna get even better. Every single draft class is gonna even get better once these players are starting to retire. Look, like the league is in its 8th season, if I'm not mistaken. Ice Cube and LL Cool J is his other partner, if I'm not mistaken. Like, man, they created something that we thought we weren't gonna see, because it was more like, it was more like a basketball hobby type of thing, mostly a warm-up games that every single athlete does, and now to be a league, which also like the ratings are even sky high, and the state and the arenas are getting filled. Like, I can't wait for when they come to the Kaseya Center. It's gonna be epic.
I think it's a good way to end this off.
Yeah, for real. All right, guys. Well, that's another episode of Section 305. Next week, we're going to be with a lot of topics, how the NHL is going both finals, conferences, also the NBA. Yep, we're predicting a sweep, but let's wait until we make it to the Stanley Cup so we can do also our analysts. Right, did you see Nick already celebrating? Did you see Anthony already feeling that they're gonna go back to back? We got lots of topics to talk next week. So, guys, have a good rest of the week, and we'll see you guys soon again.
Bye, guys.